welcome back, gentlefolk and rapscallions of all persuasions. Are you ready to talk about a couple of the things that you probably missed as you were reading through Isles of the Emberdark in 2 days? Let's talk specifically about a part where somebody says, "I was a soldier, ground combat, fought in the Battle of Ahaliha. They burned the very sky around us, so much smoke, like it was suddenly midnight and the darkness was strangling us." Aside from the fact that that name is perfectly symmetrical, we have evidence from Roshar that this is a surge that we've seen used before, and specifically, it is the surge of division. We know that both Skybreakers and Releasers, or Dustbringers, as they prefer not to be called, have the power of division, where it is the power of weak axial attraction. Whatever, I need to go to the Ars Arcanum to figure out exactly specifically how they describe it. But the Surge of Division can be manipulated to have power over destruction and decay. And we also know that everyone is on Roshar because of events that happened on Ashen that basically destroyed the planet. That was runaway division that basically created a chain reaction and lit the atmosphere on fire. So, if you missed this reading through Isles of the Emberdark, I don't blame you, because Brandon does a lot of these where he just sort of drops one-liners and then moves on. But this heavily implies that the Malwish got into a infantry-style combat with people of Roshar. Unclear whether it happened in Shadesmar or not, but given the fact that it is called the Battle of Ahaliha, the Rosharans very likely won, or if they didn't win, it was a Pyrrhic victory for the Malwish, because that's the name of it, and generally history is written by the victors. Another thing that you might have missed is that there is a lore mother that Dusk references before he leaves on his expedition, who is called Frond, and is described as a heavy-set woman with skin that is darker than his. And there's elsewhere a mention in Isles of the Emberdark about how perpendicularities used to exist on Roshar, and we know that cultivation left at the end of Wind and Truth. So, what if this is cultivation in her humanoid form who has made her way to First of the Sun? Also, something that I don't think was really touched on enough is the true significance of the fact that frost is beyond contact during the events of Isles of the Emberdark. And because we know that dragons are very present in the spiritual realm because they are so highly invested and they functionally act as gods to their followers, the fact that he cannot be contacted is very severe. This hints at the fact that he might possibly be dead, but Starling is also not behaving in a way that suggests she thinks he's dead. So I want to know how frost is beyond the means of contact, but also potentially not dead. And I don't have answers for that. Let me know if you do. And a bonus thing that I thought I caught, but I was actually wrong about, spoilers for Wind and Truth, when Hoyd is trying to communicate with Frost to go through the Alethi codes with him and figure out how Odium might be exploiting their contract, I thought that it was going to be Starling who was interpreting that, because I thought that I remembered Hoyd referencing Frost's niece. I was wrong. It's Frost's sister that he's talking to. But that also begs the question of what happened to Starling's parents, because we know that she was raised by Frost because her parents are not around, and it seems like, as of the events of Wind and Truth at least, her parents were presently involved in the things that Frost was doing, so what happened to them? Where did they go? There's a speculation to be made that Starling's parents are in fact the representatives of the ones above, because they're referred to as having very pale skin that looked like it had never seen the sun. And we know that Starling is a leucocystic dragon, which is not quite albino, but would lead to the lack of pigmentation. And so if these two representatives are in the human form of their leucocystic dragons, then that would lead credence to Starling's parents being the representatives of the ones above. Let me know if you caught these. Let me know if you caught things that I didn't. So click on one of the videos that's showing up for you right now, do all those delicious things that feed the almighty algorithm, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!